Welcome back, listeners. I'm Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. Today we have a special guest, Javier Ortega-Araiza, which I love that last name. He's going to share his healing story about his journey, but also people pleasers in recovery. Javier, how are you today?
Hi, Robin. Thanks. I'm great. How about you? How are you
I'm
doing?
doing well. I'm doing very well. And myself and the listeners are very interested in your newsletter that you have by Spirit Rising, this People Pleasers in Recovery. Can you start there and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started Spirit Rising as a newsletter by itself previously, and I was sharing some insights about my spiritual journey and different ideas I had and experiences or experiences of other people that came across my way. But I realized, and for me, I think the reason why I started People Pleasers in Recovery is because it's possibly the biggest problem I've struggled in my entire life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we can talk about all the problems and maybe or maybe, but in my perspective, is other problems have been the manifestation of a deeper issue, which is people pleasing, the need to always do what others expect us to do,
Mm-hmm.
or the need to always keep everyone happy, or the need to be liked or approved, and that can be very destructive. It can lead us to make a lot of mistakes, and it's something that has affected not only me but a lot of people I love and care about dearly, and I realized it was an issue that we're maybe sharing my journey and about how I've overcome a lot of patterns, because especially in the past year or so, I've had the opportunity to look at how far I've come in terms of recovering from all the destructive habits I once had, which stemmed from the need to please other people, or the lack of boundaries, or the need to always be doing something to be approved. And yeah, so that's the idea. The idea of the newsletter is to share both stories, because there are a lot of inspiring stories out there. I mean, besides what I've done myself, I think there are a lot of people who can share their journey at different points, of course, and how they've overcome these patterns and how they embraced every aspect of themselves, and also tools and strategies, like how can we learn together to set better boundaries, to speak up if something doesn't suit us or doesn't fit with us. And I believe it's such a pervasive issue all over the world, from what I've seen, just to try to accommodate and place other people, and it's, I believe a lot of healing is needed in this regard. So the
Right.
idea of the community is to support each other that way.
Absolutely. And I agree with that 100%, especially when you said the lack of boundaries, because I feel that a lot of us, we always say that we have certain boundaries, but it's those boundaries that tend to be flexible because of feeling that need to keep others happy or to feel wanted by others, right? And want
Yeah.
to be liked by others. And that's why we become flexible with those boundaries. So tell us a little bit how you were able to overcome that part of people pleasing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I remember, I mean, just as a funny story, I remember when the first time I went to see, I worked with a great therapist coach for 3 years, a bit more than that, back when I was living in Canada. And I remember she told me about boundaries, and the first question I asked, what's boundaries? What are you talking about? I mean, I just, it was a concept that was not, and I had never learned about it that way, or maybe not in the same context, or using the same words. So coming from that, where I believed you know, I accomplished a lot at a very young age, and at the same time, I sabotaged some of that, or a lot of it, and went through a lot of unnecessary pain because of the need to please other people. It was very subconscious. It was very. It was not something that I was aware of, which I think that's the first part in overcoming this, is being aware of our patterns
Hmm.
and being aware that we have this issue where we feel the need to be liked or the need to be approved, and that somehow drives some of our actions, even if we're not consciously realizing it. So the first step to recover, I would say, is that. Uh, for me, I mean, for example, I grew up, I've always been an entrepreneur. I started my first, I had many businesses as a teenager and stuff like that. But my first company, I started it when I was 23, and I grew it very quickly. In 18 months, maybe we had surpassed $1.5 million in revenue, and I was hiring a team like crazy. And now I was the CEO and I had people pleasing patterns. So obviously that was not going to end well,
Right.
because then I had a lot of conflicting interests with people, and I just lost that business because I didn't have a firm resolution to set my boundaries, not impose my vision, but at the end of the day, yes, I mean, to a degree, because if it's my business or my organization and I created it, then I should be able to stand up for what I believe in.
Right.
And if we don't do that,
Hmm.
then it ends up becoming what everybody else wants. And if what everybody else wants it's at odds, then I just end up in the middle of conflict and paying no attention to it, to what really matters.
Yeah.
So coming from that place, I think, yeah, as I said, the first step that helped me was just first be aware. Therapy helped a lot, but also journaling. I'm a
Hmm.
writer, so journaling is really an amazing tool for me to put down how I feel and become more acquainted with what is really driving my behavior. Uh, and also to do a kind of exercise where I can say, okay, I was about to do this. I don't feel 100% sure about it. Why
Hmm.
is that? And maybe there's some people pleasing involved in a way, because it's like, okay, I'm about to do this. I don't really want to do it, but I feel afraid that this person is not going to like me if I don't do it.
Yeah.
So by taking that moment, there's a great book. It's not exactly about people pleasing, but it's a great book, spiritually one of my favorites, Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach,
Hmm.
or Bratz, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's an amazing book that talks about pausing, taking a moment to pause and
Yeah.
before we decide anything on the go. And I think that's a great idea, because before we commit to something, I think if somebody has people pleasing patterns, uh, the default setting or the autopilot is to say yes haphazardly to a lot of requests that come our way.
Hmm.
And if we take a moment to pause first and breathe and just, okay, I need a bit of time to get back to you. It's hard to say no right away, especially at the beginning stages of the journey. But if we take that moment, then maybe that helps us take the time we need to be able to say, no, I actually don't want to do that, or I'm busy, or I have something else. Because what happens is, or what happened to me at some point was I was so overcommitted and overbooked with my time that I always was figuring out how to maneuver everything behind the scenes, and that's a symptom of the people pleasing problem, I would say.
Yeah. And I like that because when you said that you kind of, it seems like you kind of lost control when you were in your business because you were looking to try to please everyone else and appease what they were wanting. And when you lose control, you lose sight, right? And like you said, it's about taking that pause. And when you lose the purpose, it's best to take that pause and ask yourself, why did I do this? Why did I build this business? Why did I do this? What did I want to get out of this? And sometimes I think because of people pleasing, we forget to ask ourselves. We're so busy gifting ourselves to others and wanting to make others feel better. We lose ourselves. We lose the purpose behind why we started it in the first place. And I like that. So tell us a little bit more about, I mean, I know you stated that you went to therapy, but also your book of poems, did your writing also act as, that being therapeutic as well? The 3 years later, the poems Love and Renewal, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I believe writing is a great healing vehicle, and both writing the stuff I've published and also, as I said, journaling is great.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, maybe for some people, if they become okay with it, then maybe some of the insights they learned by journaling can become stories that they can publish. So there can be an intersection there. But yeah, definitely writing is something that helped me a lot, because initially just to build that self-awareness. Okay, I have these problems. What is the real issue behind them? And it's generally a feeling or a pattern that is triggered by a fear or a feeling or the fear feeling, and that's what really drives our behavior. For example, I could fear feeling abandoned by a group of friends or by my family or by any group of people. That drives the people pleasing behavior, because it's if I don't do this, then this will happen. They will abandon me, and I will feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fear of that, and that can. So journaling and writing really helps to identify those things, I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a process that just becomes deeper over time. Sometimes we don't realize how far we've come on our
Yes.
journey. But
Yes.
for example,
Absolutely.
if we look at the right, I think that's why journaling or writing is also great, because we can look at our writings from 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and it's like, oh yeah, I've actually made a lot of progress. In all of these areas, my life is a lot better. I overcame all of these issues. Um, I've I 4 years ago I identified these patterns, and I've been able to gradually work through them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean it's good as a tool to also give ourselves credit for the work we've done, and because that can give us the motivation to keep at it, because I don't think this work is ever done. The healing journey itself. I think
Right.
it's maybe a work in progress that will be with us our whole life.
It's all very ongoing. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, new people come into our life, new situations. Maybe we've sorted one area of our life, but then maybe other issues come in, and it's fine. I mean, it's part of the process. People die, people get hurt. There's nothing we can do about that except work through our own emotions and feelings.
Absolutely. And then you stated um, a fear of healing. Like, what exactly can you elaborate on that? Is it the feeling of abandonment or the introspection? Like, what is it?
Oh yeah, no, I was talking like the fear of a feeling, which could be anything. I mean, I just think, for example, if we look into what could drive people pleasing behavior
Mm-hmm.
or any destructive behavior, is the fear of feeling a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because we don't want to feel a certain way, which might be abandoned or hurt or
Okay.
attacked maybe. So we resort to a strategy to avoid that,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be on some cases, it can be a people pleasing behavior, like, oh, I don't want this person to reject me, therefore I'll go and do something for them.
Hmm. Okay.
So, yeah.
But as far as some of our healing journeys, we tend to isolate, right? We tend to have to
Yeah.
heal inward on our own. So, how do you feel in regard to that instead of looking outward for healing, looking inward?
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely the healing journey is, it can be, especially at the beginning, I think, uh, a bit isolating because we're changing our whole view of the world when we do that.
Hmm.
And sometimes we fear that other people might not understand us, or we don't know how to relate the same way because we're different. I mean, we go through steps of a healing journey and we're different. And that can feel a bit isolating for sure. Uh, I think, yeah, but I don't know. For me, something, and I was telling Italy, I'm a bit nomadic in a way. Like I've
Hmm.
moved a lot around, and I met different people, different places, and maybe that helped me in a way because
Hmm.
it changed my environment.
Right.
Therefore, some of the triggers from my previous stage, let's say, were not present or as present.
Hmm.
Um, so maybe that helped, but yeah, I think the real challenges and something that can lead us to a breakthrough and a healing journey is just to have the courage to go as deep as possible within, as you were saying, because sometimes we might do it, and then if we don't like what we find, oh no, I'd rather not touch that. But if we don't, then we're not making progress. So
Yeah. And I like how you said that you're a bit nomadic, like changing your environment, I believe, is huge. I believe that that speaks volumes because it's just, kind of like the price of water, right? No one really, the value of water changes depending on where you go. Sometimes water
yeah,
is free. Then if you go to, a restaurant, you might have to pay for it. When you go to Kings Island or an amusement park, it's going to cost even more. Go to a water park, it's going to cost. So it's the environment that I believe will kind of see your value depending on where you are. Sometimes you're just in the wrong environment that doesn't see your value and sometimes
absolutely.
doesn't allow you to see it, right? That veil can be over our own eyes because the environment that we're in isn't allowing us to see our true value.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I believe that sometimes if we're in the wrong place and maybe we have a lot of valuable things to offer, but if that ecosystem or group within a place doesn't see it, the group we're around, then we
Mhm.
might think it's worthless. But then we go somewhere else and it's like, oh, this is exactly what everybody was looking for. So, it's,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I like
yeah.
that. And so tell us a little bit more about, you said you had multiple businesses. How's that going for you?
It's a lot better now. When I feel more confident in making
Mhm.
the right decisions and being at peace with not being liked by everyone.
Yeah.
I I think that's once we accept that. I mean, it's the reality is that there's always somebody out there who's not going to like what we do or what we
Absolutely.
say. So and if we don't, and if we do nothing, they might still criticize us, and if we do something, they will as well.
Yes.
So if doing something makes me happier, then why not do something and not care?
Yes.
So coming from that standpoint, it's a lot easier to lead a business and to grow it and to do whatever you need to do to keep growing and to be happy and enjoy the process as well, but yeah, it just I think both our personal and professional development are so closely linked that that the more we progress on our spiritual personal journey, the better our professional journey becomes. And that's not to say there won't be challenges. There will be, and sometimes we need to still deal with things from our past, and we need to deal with them. However, the process of doing so will be easier in a way because we feel better equipped to handle it, and better equipped to stand up for ourselves
Yes.
and to validate our place in the world.
And I like that because it's the healing journey is far from linear. We are going to come across so many challenges and difficulties, and that's why I love that I created this platform, because it's connecting everyone who's struggling. And even having this conversation with you, it's like you're going to help uplift so many others who are struggling with the same thing. And now it's like you being able to share your story, share your voice, and know that, hey, I'm struggling. I'm currently struggling. I still go up and down and I'm moving forward, but you're being authentic in your healing journey. And I greatly appreciate that, Javier.
No, great. Thank you so much. I mean, and thank you for creating this platform. As you say, it's really valuable to have to learn from other people's journeys and struggles. And I remember, for example, when I was going through possibly some of the hardest parts, and some books I read or things I listened to were really valuable at that point in time. So
Mhm.
it's really great to have that, to be able to, yeah, to learn from other people and realize, oh, somebody else is feeling that way too.
Absolutely. And as far as this journey, your past journey and the journey that you're currently on, how has that been for you mentally? How are you able to handle all of this mentally?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, I mean, right now, some of the things that really help me is, on one side, playing sports. You know, I play tennis, I play different racket sports, and it really helps me to release a lot of energy, uh,
Mhm.
release stress, and on the other side, many years ago I came across this healing practice that is the Ho'oponopono. It's the Hawaiian philosophy, basically based on love and forgiveness, and I do that every day, and that really helps me release. If I'm angry or uh, if I'm not feeling great, and it really helps to reduce the mental burden.
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, I think between those two, then also maybe being more open and talking about things, not keeping everything to myself. That's a big one. I've become more comfortable over the years. It was extremely hard to do it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a process, but I would say those three: reading. You know, reading is good to help relate to other people, escape from our mind, endless chatter. But yeah,
Mhm. I like that. And what was that practice? You said Hawaiian. What was it?
it's the Ho'oponopono. So Ho and then Opono,
Uh-huh.
Pono. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy to yeah, share more information about that. But it's really good because it's basically based on a simple mantra, you know, that you can say if a negative emotion comes up,
Hmm.
or a positive one too. Just, I mean, it's a great way to reconnect with our spirit, I would say, and let go of the need to hit back at something, or let
Right.
go of the need to, I'm really angry at this moment, or so. That helps. It's really helpful. I would say that practice has really saved my life, especially over doing those years where everything was a lot more uncertain.
Good. And if there was any advice that you could give the listeners, like what would be the main piece of advice that you can give?
I think to take a moment to pause and breathe before making any rush decisions,
Hmm.
and to journal and write down exactly what you're experiencing or how you're feeling at the moment. Because having that honesty is going to really develop self-awareness. And yeah, that's, I mean, 10 years down the road, you'll see how far you've come. But yeah, I would say that those three things, I mean, pausing, it's great because it's like, okay, I don't need to rush and commit to anything.
Hmm.
Um, Taking a moment to breathe and really see how we feel, and journaling or writing develops our skill to identify exactly what we feel like, and then it's easier to really express it.
I like that. And that there's so much in the pause, because when we feel that that silence that's loud or that urgency, it's like that's how you know that's that it's wrong, it's incorrect, and you kind of need to ground yourself and
Yeah,
pause and come back to, hey, where's the purpose? Where do I need to go? And just it's like you start to see the brighter side of things when you take that pause. And it's just like there's so much to be learned within that pause. And sometimes that pause can be a couple of days, a couple of months, or even a couple of years. And
yeah,
I think that's what is hard to accept along the healing journey is it could be a very, very long and painful journey, but it's still you learn so much about yourself and you gain so much understanding. And that's what I love about this journey.
yeah, absolutely. You said it well. It can be the process is really important because it connects us to our intuition, and
Yes.
then we know what we need to do. So.
I like that. I love that. It definitely, the healing journey connects us to our intuition. Like, I absolutely love that. I gotta write that
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
Healing journey connects us to our intuition. To I really love that. Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Javier?
well, I mean, maybe just as a final tip, I was talking about writing as an introspective tool, but for those who feel comfortable with it, it's also great to share the story. That's because just as we learn from other people's journeys, a lot of people can learn from our own. So
Mhm.
sharing, uh, it's therapeutic as well, but also a great way to contribute and connect with other people who are on the same boat.
I like that. And then and why, I do have a quick question, but why the title 3 years later? What is the title of that book? What is the meaning?
Oh yeah, so basically, I mean, it it refers to poems that were written over the past 3 years. So it's like
Mhm.
3 years later. 3 years ago, I was here at this point, and this is what happened, chronicled through poetry, and this is a book now. 3 years later, it becomes a book. So that's
Yeah.
what it alludes to, basically.
Oh, okay. I like that. And I'm going to definitely list that down in the show notes along with
Thank you so much.
your, huh?
No, thank you so much as well.
Oh, of course. And then along with your newsletter, People Pleasers in Recovery. So, and how long I know you stated that you just started this, but how long have you been putting this newsletter out?
So the previous version, the Spirit Rising newsletter overall, I put it out for like a year.
Hmm.
But we actually just rebranded it to People Pleasers in Recovery just this past couple of weeks, and we plan on having a weekly edition starting this next month of June for the second half of the year, and take it from there.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Javier. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and I loved having you on here.
No, thank you so much. I really enjoyed our chat and appreciate it very much. And thanks again. And thanks to everyone.
No problem. Again, I'm Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. Everyone stay blessed. Again, I'm your host, Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. If you're navigating grief, toxic relationships, trauma, financial pressure, or the slow work of rebuilding after setback piled upon setback, this channel is for you. Our community now spans 118 countries, proof that real stories travel and that healing accelerates when we carry one another. Share your story, lend your voice, and let grace turn pain into purpose. Book your podcast in the link below and share your story. Be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good evening, and good night. Stay blessed.